Hey, this is Kamori, and today we're going to talk about satin fabric. Now, satin kind of has a bad reputation in the cosplay community, and like you see a lot of posts where people are like, oh, don't use satin in your costume. It's okay to use satin in your costume. A lot of times these posts are pretty much referring to like the costume satin and the really, really cheap satin. And the reason why they are suggesting not using it for costumes is because the cheaper satin has a tendency to look cheap in photos, and it's also very, very shiny. So when you take a picture of a costume that is made out of cheap satin with a flash, the flash bounces off the really shiny fabric and doesn't look all that great in photos. However, satin definitely does have a place in cosplay. If you go for the slightly more higher end satins, you can have a really fantastic looking costume, and satin gives a little bit more polish and, well, shine, even though we didn't want to keep using that word, to costumes for characters where a nice satin would be appropriate. For example, a wealthy character wearing a very fancy dress, or an idol who would be wearing a very fancy costume on stage.
Satin is a woven material that has a face to it, and this means that one side of the fabric tends to be a bit more polished and have a bit more of a shine to it, while the back does not. Now, you can also get a matte satin where the shine is not as noticeable, and there are also crepe satins which have a bit more texture to them. Most of the satins available in the local fabric stores are made out of synthetic materials, which means that they can scorch if they are used with a very hot iron, so it's always good to be careful. Satin fabrics are very prone to fraying, so you will most definitely need to finish the edges of your project. Satin fabrics can be very delicate, so it's definitely a good idea to use a microtex needle when working with satin fabric, to avoid causing the material to pucker.
I hope you found this video helpful. If you want to learn more about satin, check out the link in the description box below to fabricforcosplayers.com, where they have an entire article devoted to satin. And for more cosplay sewing tutorial videos, please subscribe. Thank you very much for watching.